there we go. It's Weege Show. End of a long day. Everybody's had their problems. I'm going to move over here to get the sun away. There we go. You know this guy, Cooper Webb? Worst case scenario, I see you coming off the track holding your left hand, and I'm like, please don't tell me that's the same. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm all right. But yeah, it was the exact time I had just injured. Did the exact same thing where I crashed and held onto the bar and it hyperextended, and I was hurting, and I was praying I didn't do it again.
Yes, honestly. Were you scared?
I was very scared.
I would think, yeah.
But it still hurts, swollen up, but get checked out Monday, but I'm hoping just, like, first time I've honestly crashed on it, first time that, you know, put it in the same thing, hyperextended, so I think just kind of the scar tissue, stuff like that, gets banged up, and we'll see though.
Can you compare it to Birmingham?
That's what's scary, was it feels about the same, but you know, I think it's like anything with that motion, it's still not 100%, so I think just any force to it isn't great, and but we'll see. I think I just jammed it real good, and like Birmingham, it never got swollen. It's really swollen right now, so that's actually a good sign in my mind.
Oh, because it's different. Anything different is better. On the bright side, you said you had a great battle. You and Roczen 7-8 in the first moto, but it was a battle.
Yeah, it was, man. It was fun. It was, yeah, I mean, it was honestly about where I expected to be. Kind of that 5 to 8 mark, and yeah, me and Kenny battled hard first moto. Like, it was actually really fun, and but that was my first time really ever seeing Kenny outdoors, and even though it was 7 and 8, it still felt good.
Okay, focus on the positive. That's all I got for you, buddy.
Yeah,
fingers crossed.
Fine.
Good. All right, thanks for coming back, Cooper Webb. I got to go find Phil now for our post-race show. It's all brought to you by DID Chains and DID Sprockets. What drives you? They've been building championships for 100 years. We'll be right back. And we're back. We're going. Yeah, that sums it up right there. I love those colors. I got a koozie in my backpack to match that. Here, flip it back around. Awesome. Yeah, that's what it's all about. See you at Buds, right, gang? Yeah, they'll be back at Buds. We've got the little northeast swing here with the Buds Unadilla double. Get some of the same fans also out here at Southwick. Love the part of this sport where it's not regional.
Yearly showing.
That's it. Yeah, you guys.
Nice
Perfect attendance. It's not regional. Like everywhere we go, there is motocross and there is a scene. It's not like it only is popular in one area. And that's one of all their cool things. It's a true national championship, and it's awesome to see the different atmosphere, the different fans of the different events. And if any race maybe outside of Southwick has its own unique feel, it is Unadilla. And we got Unadilla being Unadilla today, Heartbreak Hill. The amount of amazing days and gonna be amazing but turn out to be sad days at this track has absorbed and created through the years. It's just uncanny. Having fun? Yeah. And we had it again today. Look, when I first started going to races, as I mentioned, it was at Unadilla. The first storyline that I ever knew of in a motocross race was that Bob Hanna was always the fastest guy at Unadilla, and Bob Hanna would never win Unadilla because some sort of weirdo jinx, messed up, stupid thing would happen. And we've seen that happen over and over through the years. The best I've ever seen Travis Pastrana ride on a motocross track was right here when he dominated Moto 1 and was dominating Moto 2 and then crashed out in the last lap and never won another moto again in his career. And today, Chance Hymas had never ridden this track before, and he was the fastest 250 guy by far. He dominated qualifying in any metric you want to measure. He was pulling away in the first moto. I mean, he passed like 7 guys in the first lap. It might have been the most dominant speed-wise we've seen anyone be in the 250 class this year, and what happens? He goes down in those ruts, and it wasn't quite the end of his day. He did come back to race Moto 2. I was genuinely scared for a moment, but he did come back. Started Moto 2, didn't finish it. I talked to Lars, he's banged up, Hymas, but they don't think there's any real injuries. And now they're dealing with an injury for Shimoda. It might be a collarbone. That's Unadilla, man. That's Unadilla. And Roger DeCoster's over there. He knows as well as anybody, maybe more than anybody except Hanna, what this track is all about. And that's just what it does. Good times for Hunter Lawrence, that 2025 Honda, which I should have discussed on the preview show yesterday, but I didn't know about that. Bad reporting on my part. There were emails sent out, but it was raining so much that I was not going to pull my phone out and check my phone for information yesterday until I was done shooting this show. Anyway, the 2025 worked out. That was the best Hunter Lawrence we've seen in a while, maybe all year. he won a moto at Thunder Valley. I'm gonna say it was back to being as good as he was earlier in the year. Look at the ruts. Those are ruts in the pits, everybody, left over from the rain. And by the way, was it a mud race? Nope, wasn't a mud race. Let me get the DID logo in here. Yeah. Anywho, Hunter Lawrence is good, but somehow both Hunter Lawrence and Chase Sexton can leave here with their chest puffed out, because Hunter wins the first moto, beats Sexton straight up. That was huge. Big breakthrough for him in the bike. But then at the same time, Sexton's second moto was so dominant that was a confidence booster for him. So somehow we got both in the same day. And a funny story, I mentioned this on TV. I did go over to the Honda team in the morning and said, like, is there any risk of running the new motorcycle here? Is there like a, hey, we're testing and it might actually be worse than what we had for a week or two, and then eventually it'll be better? And it was funny. Yeah, we got ruts in the pits.
Yeah, I'm trying to navigate my way
yes,
through.
that's it. We got ruts in the pits. Hey,
what?
this new bike you got, Shane Drew, do you not have to even do anything? You can just roll it off the showroom floor?
Oh, yeah, it's perfect. Yeah.
So your job is just
I just
put the tent up and
just like usual. I don't do shit.
the bike does all the work. Beautiful. Darren Lawrence told me, he's like, there's a flag in Australia, the Australian coat of arms, and it is of two creatures known for hailing from Australia, and that is a kangaroo, I think, and an emu. And you know what's interesting about those two animals? They cannot walk backwards. That's the Australian culture. We don't take steps backwards, we always try to take steps forward. They're willing to take the risk to move forward for the future, to have the new bike. The risk paid off. But there was a rider on a 2024 Honda Sierra 450R who had his best race of the year. The first really good race since the very beginning of the year. Like the first two Supercrosses for Dylan Ferrandis at Phoenix Honda were good. And hey, nice progress today.
Thanks, Weege.
There's something to be stoked on. That was right here.
He's a mechanic.
Hey, that was good. Did you know all the math for the podium and all that?
Josh kept me informed on the headset.
So you were telling him?
So I had to tell Dylan he needs second for a podium finish, but
half a lap away. Yes.
It's racing, right?
But there's real progress. That's something.
Progress.
Yeah. And this is not just a Unadilla thing?
No, we'll see what happens.
Okay. All right. They're smiling. That's good.
Thanks for
Yep.
checking in.
Yeah, no problem. The team manager was busy trying to win Loretta's titles. I know he's been very busy. Hey, he's won it before. He's good.
Yeah, you're right.
He's had him before.
Yeah.
He didn't have those patented starts this year, though. I don't know. As Heath Harrison's the team manager over there. Hang on. Heath Harrison's the team manager, almost won the 25 plus title. It was in a dogfight with Jacob Hayes and Cole Martinez. That was a really fun race at Loretta's that I talked about last week. Anyway, we have not really talked about or thought about Dylan Ferrandis all year. Again, first two Supercrosses were good. That was about the end of it. He was gone for a while. He's been sick for a while. I think the teething problems of getting a 450 motocross bike up to where they needed to be was a much steeper climb than imagined. Or maybe they knew that, but either way, it has taken forever. I'm gonna crush the myth that 450s are so fast that riders are detuning them. I've talked to the Phoenix Honda team. They said in Supercross, they had enough power, but they said outdoors, no, they found out quickly they needed more power, and that's what they've been looking for. They do not detune bikes for motocross. That's like something they did when the bikes were hard to ride and had difficult to control power bands and didn't have electronics and things like that 25 years ago, 20 years ago. These days they're looking for power. So they've been working on that bike. Ferrandis is getting healthier, and how cool would it be to have him back as a podium player every week, just adding to it. Cooper Webb, who you saw there, okay, hopefully he's back. Roczen was good. He'll be on a 250 at Ironman. And the other highlight of the 250 class is Levi Kitchen going out there and riding well again. So the only race he wasn't good at lately was his home race at Washougal. That's a bit of an asterisk there. I guess the home race really threw him. He did always say that he's not the best rider at that particular track. I actually drove my vehicle up here. It's a Honda original, and if I call it a truck, you'll be like, somebody in the comments will be like, that's not a truck. So I drove my vehicle up here, and I did not get hooked up by Honda. I actually like this. I paid for it. It was fun to drive my own vehicle to a race, and the reason I wanted to do it is because I used to drive up here all the time, and I wanted to just do it. I just wanted to summer road trip it like I used to. I just live a lot further away than I used to. So I gotta get going. I wanna thank DID for backing our show, and I wanna thank the riders for still digging deep here. To still have this many storylines and battles at the end of the year is not always what we see. It's kind of uncanny. I think the playoffs have a big factor in that. I think the win in the sales, it's not Jet Lawrence winning every single moto. Like, guys are still going for it, guys still believe, so that helps as well. But just a really cool time to be at the races and see. I mean, you're probably going each class 5, 6 guys going to the gate thinking like, I could have a good moto, I could at least podium. That's 10 or 12 guys then that believe that. That's pretty cool. So that's our show. Thanks to Cooper Webb for the time, and we'll see you at Budds Creek.